Hey, we are live. All right, let's check here. Our screen looks good. Looks like our camera's good. Oh, you got a bunch of junk in the background here. Before anyone else gets on here, I should clean this place up a little bit. Kids left in a mess. Oh, keep an eye out, man. Somebody else.
Kids, what are you gonna do with them? Kids, what are you gonna do with them?
Oh, move the batteries. Good way to start a live hang. Of course, there's no one else here right now anyway, besides us. So we started. What are we gonna do if no one else joins in, Dan? Sing karaoke?
Kumbaya.
Oh boy.
We can entertain ourselves with some stupid YouTube
We
videos.
can here for the time being. Ah, well, what are we going to talk about while we wait for people to join in?
So what kind of cool plans we got for the RMAX?
Oh, it's to go 100-mile sheave service. Got a performance sheave to go on that puppy. I'm probably going to do it at the same time.
What did we change before? Was it just weights?
No, on the X4 we did sheave and weights at the same time.
We didn't do nothing to the clutch on this, did you?
No, this is all stock right now. So guys, if you're just joining us in, howdy Robert. This is just simply a very casual live hangout, no specific topic. And we're not recording a podcast or anything. This is just me and Dan here hanging out with you guys. And as I said before on the post I made about this, you guys can feel free to bash me all you want to about trying to sell Mighty Mouse. Even though I'm not selling it anymore, I tried to. So, Dan, easy there. There's a bar underneath the table.
See that?
But you guys can bash me about trying to sell Mighty Mouse all you want to, but don't worry, Mighty Mouse isn't going anywhere right now. Dan's happy because we're going to revamp this turbo.
It's gonna go.
It's going to get turbo noises again. We're going to tie into the cooling system.
It should be all right.
It should, and I'm hoping to tie the oil right off of the motor too, and not have a standalone. I think in the long run that'll be better. I'll have a bigger volume of oil. So, but anyway, guys, just a live hangout. We really don't have anything specific here we're going to talk about, just whatever you guys want to talk about. I have some things I'm going to say. Dan, you want to start us off here? Anything you'd like to share? Anything exciting happened today at work, Dan? That you won't get in trouble for if someone from work sees this.
I sold parts. I mean, I don't know how exciting that gets, but I sold parts.
I did the same thing. Oh, this bar. We should have turned this table the other way.
I know it's annoying, isn't it?
So, yeah. But anyway.
It'll have to do for this time.
Yeah, we set it up the wrong way. But anyway, you guys don't know. Most of you probably know by now I opened my own power sports business. It has been doing very well. That's kind of why I was wanting to sell Mighty Mouses, because I had bought some things, mainly a furnace, which we'll get into in a little bit, that I wanted to pay for. I did sell the Outlander, and that went towards paying off some of the furnace and some other tools I got. But
I'm not going to lie, I'm a little depressed.
Over the furnace?
No, that
they sold the Outlander. Yeah, it was too much power.
We didn't have much ride time on that. I think I rode it more. Okay, never mind. You took it.
I took it on a couple good rides. It was awesome for straight line running, but as far as just cruising in the woods like I usually do, it was too much. I didn't need all that. So, but it was a blast.
I mean, so fun.
I do plan on getting another 4-wheeler at some point, something a little smaller. I'm probably thinking like a Grizzly or Kodiak, because I absolutely love Yamaha CVT.
We should do a Grizzly build, make it a little bit wider, like do the
they make long travel kits and stuff.
Yeah, we should do that with a Grizzly. Long travel clutch kits, and like cam and not a big bore necessarily.
Well, but could you imagine the Stroker Raging Rhino build in a Grizzly that's lighter?
True.
Then I'd be back into the Can-Am territory where I'd be like,
I was thinking like durability wise, like a nice cam port polish head so it pulls through the top, and the different clutch system and the wider. I think it would rip.
Like a stage 2 cam with the fuel controller and some sheave work. Exhaust would make a Grizzly just an absolute monster.
It would probably be the ultimate trail machine, to be honest.
It would be.
Like, it would ride good, and it would have a little bit more pep to it than it already has, and it would just make it so suitable for the trails around here.
Yeah. So
they're skinny enough. If you widen them, you can get away with it.
Yep. So,
But,
guys, since this is a live hangout, you guys that are joining us here, feel free to comment and talk with us. That's what this whole is for. I don't want it just to be me and Dan here just talking the whole time. You guys join in. Comment here below. We got our computers up so we can see what you're saying. And how's that? We're doing a little different mic setup than we do with the podcast with the big things up here because I tend to talk loudly and blow the volume and speakers out. So this is a little different microphone setup, and from the test, I think it's working okay. You guys let me know how it sounds on your end. We're not using our headphones either because for some reason we had a ton of static tonight, and I don't know what was causing all that.
I am actually going to do one thing real quick.
Go for it, Dan.
I am going to. Yeah,
that sounds good. Yeah, you unmuted it. So it sounds good. There actually wasn't even that much of a delay in there.
No, there wasn't.
So, yep. Anyway, the new Power Sports shop is going well. I've got at least 3 or 4 machines in there consistently I'm working on. I haven't run into too many issues as far as getting parts. A couple delays here and there on some stuff, but overall, it's been pretty good.
You need to get some more Polarises.
Well,
Polaris customers. Like a way you can get in with some of them Polaris people. Maybe get into testing one of those units.
Oh, it would be nice. Yeah.
No, you're not a Polaris guy, but there's always that little bit of margin.
Specifically a Polaris guy, but I am a side-by-side guy, and I just love all machines anyway. So that is the one nice thing about this as my job now is I get to drive a lot different kinds of machines because you work on them. Obviously, you got to test them out. I don't rip on them hard because they're not mine, but I cruise around the field and I'm pretty good. And just finished up doing an Inferno heater on an R-Max. And
I personally like them. They're cheap.
They're cheap. They put out lots of heat. I hate where they're mounted and how it draws air like up from underneath. So if you get in water that's up to your door, chances are it's splashing and getting sucked into your heater.
Yeah, see, like in the Razors, the Can-Ams and stuff, they're all up underneath the dash. It makes it so much nicer. The Kawasaki's and stuff, they're not underneath the seat, which is kind of a stupid place, to be honest. But Inferno bases their kits off of where the OEM heater kits and stuff would normally go.
Yeah, which the Yamaha's is right there, too. It's a big box, and the blower is on top. So it's a little bit higher than the Infernos. But you either have that or you have it where it's... Quit your yawning, Dan. Jeez, you're tired.
I'm trying to hide it from the camera because there's no one sitting here now.
There's another one that mounts like in front where that big.
Super ATV offers a small one that you can get. Usually goes in the dash, but from what I heard, they're not very good.
Not very good. Is it just electric? Does it tie into the coolant system?
No, it ties into the coolant system too.
But other than that, the Inferno heater installed pretty easy.
I'd say it's probably one of the easier ones. Now, Rough Country. I was on Rough Country's website the other day just to scroll through because we're a Rough Country dealer down there. So we'll see what they have for some of the units. They got shocks for certain units. They got like adjustable piggyback shocks and stuff. I don't know how good they are, but you can get heater kits, windshields, roofs, bumpers. It's like Rough Country wasn't very big into side-by-sides, and they're getting better with more.
It. Well, they're so
but there's a lot of reviews on the shocks, so maybe we can get a set of shocks for something and try out Rough Country shocks. Be a good thing because they're like $1,600 for 4 of them versus the $4,000 to $5,000 what most of them cost.
Yeah. So Derek's Adventure wants to talk about Mighty Mouse, Dan.
Ooh.
Which, go ahead, bash me. I know I tried to sell it, but I'm not selling it now. I'm keeping it. She's staying. He's staying, I should say, because Mighty Mouse obviously is a he.
What do you want to know about it?
I am planning right now. It's back to naturally aspirated. I uninstalled the turbo, but this winter I am revamping it, and hopefully we're going to get stuff dialed in. I want to do away with the standalone oiling system. Tap actually into the motor to supply and return the oil. What else do I need to do? Tie into the cooling system. Because I think those have been my 2 big issues is I've just simply been overheating the turbo. I had the standalone oil system. I had maybe 1.5 quarts, 2 quarts of oil. And that was just continually with no oil cooler running through. And I could actually take the cap off my little oil tank and see like steam coming up.
I almost feel that if we use the same system, but with an inline cooler up by the intercooler for the cold side, of the air, it would cool it down enough to maybe run it.
Yeah, that's possible. I actually have an oil cooler laying around somewhere that I've never used.
I think what we should do is run the same system you had, put an oil cooler on the inside of the intercooler, because that you had the fan sucking in or blowing in or
Yeah.
blowing out of the cab. I can't remember. How do you have that? Oh, you didn't have a fan.
I didn't have a fan in the cooler. It was just open air, which was plenty to
Right.
keep it cool. I mean,
So I feel like if we put the cooler or the oil cooler on the inside, like of the cab part, where it's going to suck the air through it, like if you, like in the wintertime, you can put a fan on it and blow it in
blow it in,
for
or
a heat for in the buggy.
just
but
have it
then-
on a reversible switch where
Yeah,
I could
and
change
then-
the polarity.
On the inlet side, we can put a sensor in there to keep track of how hot the oil is running through the turbo.
Yeah.
That way you keep an eye on it.
And I think tying it into the water lines for additional cooling will benefit. I haven't yet to open up that turbo and see, because that was an expensive turbo we ran last time, and I've got several months out of it. So if I was overheating it that whole time, then that's not too bad. But I mean, I can't go put a new turbo on every couple months. We got to get it
No,
running
we gotta-
cooler.
And I mean, it could have just been a fluke in the turbo itself. I mean, who knows? But
I mean, it's not there is shaft play, but it's not awful.
right,
So I don't know if it was just starving from oil.
And
And plus,
you
I
got to
was-
keep them small turbos like that. And there's not really an expensive version of those small turbos, because if you go with a bigger turbo like on the Razors or stuff like that, I think they might be too big for a 500.
Yeah, I don't
and they
think I'm
might
going to have
not
enough
spool
to
instantly
spool
like
it,
you
or
want
it's going to take it forever, and I'm going to be at the top of the RPM range by it finally. So that's the plan with Mighty Mouse. Now that I'm keeping it this winter, I get room out there in the shop. Working on the kids, making a kids go kart now, which you guys probably seen a couple of videos of. Once that's done, I may get the Big Bear in first, because I got new piston rings and stuff to go in the Big Bear, since you guys, every time I run it, tell me it's smoking like crazy. But I want to get that in there for a quick little top end rebuild, and then Mighty Mouse
It
is going
smokes a
in.
little bit, not as much as the furnace in the garage though.
No. What is the best oil to run the Pioneer 700? Oh boy, I mean,
AMS oil.
AMS oil. You can't go wrong with AMS oil. It is more expensive. I run Rotella T6 5W in everything. 5W40, I think it is for the T6. They have
I think so, yeah.
15W40 and 5W40. I run the 15W40 in my diesel, and I run the 5W40 in my machines. But again, AMS oil, however, AMS oil, it's pretty much,
And you can get it just about
it's
anywhere.
great oil, and it's pretty much available and everywhere. If you're changing your oil often enough, it's really not that critical, I don't think. I mean,
No.
yes, some oils are better than others. If you do regular maintenance, then as long as it's JASO rated for your wet clutch, you can run it. So
Gas, man. Are you talking about like the Pro XP or like the Pro R? Because there's two different Pros. I mean, you got the Pro R, which is the new one with the 4-cylinder, and the Pro XP, which is the old one. So you're talking like,
well,
Which-
obviously he wants me to get the Pro R.
well, the Pro XPs cost. You can get them up around 40.
Uh-huh.
I mean, you never know. But after the video, look up LaRusso.
Oh, we were watching this before we came on
Yeah,
here.
it's LaRusso's, or LaRusso. Was it LaRusso?
Yeah, something like that.
They made a turbo kit for the Pro R, and it is insane.
500 real horsepower.
Yeah,
500 horsepower at the wheel in a side-by-side.
at 30 pounds of boost.
Uh-huh.
Their conservative kit runs 14 something pounds of boost with like 360, 370 to the wheel, something like that.
But enough Polaris. I still have stuff to talk about with Mighty Mouse.
Yeah, let's go back to that. I had to answer that question. But
Yeah. Future plans here with Mighty Mouse. We talked about I'm not giving up on the turbo. We're going back. We're getting that dialed in, so it's in to stay. I do plan on putting third gen long travel arms on it. Joe Quincy's third gen arms. I'm still rocking the first gen, so they're the straight.
haven't broken yet.
I haven't broke them yet. One is slightly bent,
Well, whose fault's that?
but it's been slightly bent for a long time, and I only just now noticed it. I think the beginning of this summer. So I'm going to go to his Gen 3 arms, which of course are arched. They have more adjustability, and they're just all around, I think, better built. He's definitely improved on his design over the years, and the Gen 3 arms will be a big step up from my Gen 1s. So that's going to happen.
Ain't they a nice color
Next,
too?
and he does excellent powder coating now, so I could get.
Like they're nice.
He posted on Facebook some chrome ones he did. They look so good.
Yeah, but chrome on your buggy with all black and red.
Well, you see, but
you gonna turn into a pavement princess
well,
too?
no, but I'm thinking if I'm going Mighty Mouse theme, I'm honestly thinking about changing out to yellow plastics because Mighty Mouse's outfit is yellow.
They made one of those in yellow, didn't they?
Yeah, you can get yellow plastics. So then I'm like, well, what color
You
arms?
should just get a hold of that one guy and do a full wrap. Just do a full Mickey Mouse wrap or Mighty Mouse wrap.
I don't know if I want to do a full wrap after doing the Pioneer 1000.
Yeah, there's not near as much on this.
There's not near much, but I'm thinking about switching out at least the hood to yellow because Mighty Mouse does have a red cape. So I could keep the rear fenders red like a cape.
Oh, there you go, yeah.
Would that look weird having a yellow hood with red rear fenders? What do you guys think? Would that look weird?
It would almost look like a Frankenstein machine.
Look weird, but if I did it right, I don't know.
We should chop.
That's something to think about. I was actually thinking about chopping the cage. I like the nice top high cage though, especially with the razor seats because I sit up higher.
Okay, we should make another cage that kind of pilfers back over the back of the machine, so it looks like a bouncer buggy, kind of like what it's built for.
Well, that's kind of what I was thinking of doing once I get the turbo and stuff all dialed in. I'm not taking it back on and off so much. Is bringing some roll cages down into like a rear bumper, like a full exo cage.
Hey, we have something like that sitting in my yard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
no one's buying it, so we might as well use it.
Chop it up and use it somehow. Yeah, definitely going to put a Mighty Mouse decal on the hood of some sort, which is why I'm thinking about changing the hood to a yellow hood. But if I just get a decal of Mighty Mouse, then I probably don't need to change out plastics.
Nah.
And that money could go to chopping the cage and fabricating the cage.
Yeah, like I said, we got a whole nice red one sitting down there at the house for Pro XP.
For Pro XP, but how much would we have to chop that up to get it to
the rear part? I don't know if we would have to chop up much because it is literally just a piece that comes up and then goes to the top of the other cage.
That's true. That might work pretty good.
I'll have to drop it off one of these. We could try it out. See what it does.
Mm-hmm. So that's my immediate plans for my. Hi, Troy. Thanks for joining in tonight on this hangout. And again, I'm not talking about anything specific. You guys joining this conversation. I got the comments here so I can see them. So that way it's not just me and Dan blabbing over and over and over again. Huh?
We will answer your questions.
We will answer your questions.
We are going to make sure we answer other ones fully before we answer new ones.
Yes. I yell at Dan for doing that when we're doing the podcast live. So wait, we're talking about something.
I always jump around because I always feel bad for making people wait.
So. But yeah, so that's the goals for Mighty Mouse now that I'm not selling it. We're keeping it, revamping the turbo, getting it dialed in 100%. And Gen 3, Joe Kowinski long travel arms, get rid of my first gen, and I may save them for a project. I'm wanting to build a custom buggy from scratch.
You know what
I got that street bike motor, so I may keep the arms for that.
You know, down in Kentucky, they do a lot of the rock bouncer stuff, and it pays good. Like, you can get in that real good. I think we should build one of those.
Yeah, it could be.
I mean,
it could.
If y'all want to sponsor that, it'd be great. Yeah. It's not cheap.
Hi, Jeff. Welcome to the live hangout this evening. Okay, so vamping turbo, long travel arms. What else did I say? Was there something else?
Chopping the cage or beefing the cage. Well, let's go with beefing the cage.
Beefing the cage, chopping the cage. I'm going to get me a nice tubing bender. Now that my welding skills have improved quite a bit, we can weld and fab something up here. So, and I think we'll see where Mighty Mouse is at that point.
After we add all that weight to it, we might have to do some different engine modifications.
No, with the turbo, we'll see. I do want to go down. I'm running the 32-inch tires right now, which is great with the turbo. It handles it fine. Mighty Mouse has been handling it without the turbo. The front tires do rub a little bit, so I'm thinking I may drop down to a 30-inch tire and run it. I run the 28 carnivores on there here and there. They're a little too small for the long travel, I think. I mean, it works great and looks good. But I think like a 30-inch would be like the middle of the ground. So I may switch out to a 30-inch tire on that guy too. I don't know what tire, but so I may have some 32-inch Blackwaters for sale, 15-inch rims.
I honestly think XTR 370s would go good on that build.
Probably would. So that's the plans for that. The RMAX, like we talked about, I got a sheave I may put in. It's the family hauler. I'm probably not going to go too crazy with it. I did finally install my rear A-arm guards. I don't think I told you that, Dan. So I got my rear A-arm guards on there finally.
I'll take a look at it.
And I installed the blocker plates in the front where the little shelves are that always get packed full of mud. I installed those. I didn't get a chance to do videos. There's videos of that stuff around, but I've just been so busy in my new shop that I haven't had much time to film. And that's the question I want to ask all you guys that are on here tonight. You guys enjoying the videos I've been doing on the stuff I'm working on? They're not getting as many views as what my normal videos get, is why I'm asking, but I'm able to post more. So my view count for my channel is coming up, but the videos themselves aren't getting as many views.
I feel like we should, when you get about 400 to 500 views on those in a couple of days on most of those videos, like I kind of went back through and looked at some of the garage videos, and I haven't seen them get too high, but when you average like 500 views on them,
yeah,
I mean,
they do okay. Derek just made a comment here about
the electric supercharger,
doing the supercharger, not electric, just one of the small ones, and that honestly, that would be a lot simpler to supercharge. I wouldn't have to worry about. You don't have to run oil lines or anything with supercharger, do you? You probably do, depending. No. I don't know about one of them little small ones.
On a car, they're not oil cooled or oil lubricated that I know of or anything. They just go on top of the engine and it's belt driven and it blows air through it. So I don't know if it's cool enough because they don't get hot like a turbo.
No, and I wouldn't have to tie. Well, because you're not tied into the exhaust; it runs off the motor crank.
I wonder if an electric supercharger, like one of those little electric baby things.
I don't know. Those things are kind of a ripoff, if you ask me. I mean,
you gotta spend a lot of money.
The nicer big ones.
Ain't they one of those ones that they just turn on and then they build instant boost all the time? I don't know.
Yeah, but I don't know. We'll see. There was that company there that did that supercharged P5, and it did good at the boost level that I was at. You know, it's kind of equal performance wise, but they were trying to up it to like 30 psi, fully build the motor, and that's just kind of faded. I haven't heard anything from any of them guys in a long time.
So, yeah.
So
like, mentioned about it.
So I may check into a supercharger and price it out.
I think sound cooler.
I think turbos are more efficient because
they're cheaper.
They're cheaper. They're more efficient, but I guess there is a lot more involved with them. I don't know. We'll play around with that.
How would you run the supercharger? Like off of what though?
The way the Pioneer's motor is mounted, sticking right out the back is the crank.
So you put a
pulley.
You
can take that cover off and put the pulley right on there.
So like the YXZs when they first came out, the supercharger.
Yes. Gotcha. So it's actually pretty easy to do. So you guys that are liking the shop content, I appreciate it. I don't plan on stopping. I just wanted to know what you guys' opinion on. It's just I've been so busy in there. That's what I have time to film and put out there. So that's what I've been doing. Of course, winter's here now too, so there's not a whole lot of stuff we can do outside.
That and someone else doesn't buy any machines to ride and to do anything with.
Uh-huh.
And that's a whole different story we won't get into. But anywho.
But I mean, the supercharger might be something to try.
Look into at least.
Look into it.
Didn't they start with a supercharger on theirs?
Well, that's what they did.
They never went to a turbo, did they?
No, they did. I was already doing the turbo, and they did the supercharger. And they were like at 14 pounds of boost, double the horsepower.
Well, yeah, 14 pounds of boost is double the atmospheric pressure.
Now, I never ran that much because I was running out of fueling, but they did have a bigger injector they installed, so they had a little extra fuel.
Could you put a 700 injector in that?
I don't know.
Or
they sold the bigger injectors, and they were actually going to send me one of their old superchargers and a bigger injector
just to try.
And then they just went all dark, so I don't know whatever happened with them guys.
They probably had a lot of flukes or something, and
I don't know.
Maybe they got sued for something. Who knows? But I mean, same thing happened to Roxers. I mean, they went dark. They kind of quit selling them. They got sued, and they're selling them.
They're supposed to be coming back, but yeah, the long trail rides, Derek. The only reason why my Hatfield McCoy videos have been longer and not just highlight videos is simply because I haven't had the time to do a whole lot of editing, and it was simpler. I usually just like to do the highlights for our rides, but didn't have much time to do that.
Derek, if someone else was able to actually have a machine and ride his own stuff, there would be more content of short films. I guarantee that.
Oh, yeah.
Because it would be full of either wrecks and stupid stuff.
Thankfully, Dan's afraid to absolutely trash my stuff when we drive it, which I appreciate a whole lot, Dan.
I can't afford to pay for it.
Paul, I have seen those electric turbos too. I think that's kind of what Dan was alluding to there. That cost like $50 and does absolutely nothing, but didn't Cletus McFarland test some like higher end ones that were expensive. There's been a couple
Oh,
YouTubers.
they were like what, $5,000 or something like that, or more for
And-
these electric turbos.
and they did work, didn't they? They did
They
a little.
put 2 on one car
Yeah.
one time, and they made, I think, like 14 pounds of boost or something. But it's not a crazy for the price that you spend
Yeah.
on one of those electric turbos. You could literally buy a supercharger kit
Yep.
and have
be
it
far
work just
better
as
off.
good.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. I am kind of intrigued. I mean, I don't think I'll be able to supercharge as cheap as I've been turboing, even with all my goof ups with these cheap turbos.
You might have to comment on one of Boosted Boys' YouTube videos that they just put out, because they have a shopping cart with a small engine, like a 4-wheeler engine on it. They put a turbo on that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how they ran it, but it seems to be holding up
Well,
pretty all right.
Cars and Cameras, I watch them all the time too.
Oh, yeah,
and
they
they have
did
that
some.
640 V or 670 V twin they've turboed at Dragster.
Yeah,
And they just put a bigger turbo on it.
What's the guy that builds the little Barbie Jeeps? You know what I'm talking about, right? He builds the Barbie Jeeps with the 4-wheeler engines and stuff, and builds like the full subframe underneath them. He's got the Jeep.
There's several of them.
Hummer.
There's
the Grind
Hard Plumbing is one.
yeah.
Rather Be Welding is another one I watched.
The Grind Hard Plumbing did a turbo build on one of his on a 450 engine.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Mighty Moss has got plenty of oomph to spool up that little turbo I have on it. It's just, I think it just goes back to the cooling issues. I need to get the cooling and lubrication figured out better, so I'm not burning through turbos.
I think that's what it is. You're just burning bearings and seals up.
777 Catman, I do not still have the Articat Trail. That is actually what I traded a guy for the Can-Am Outlander. We did an even up trade there. So that's where the Trail went to. I traded for the Outlander, which I have since sold to pay for stuff for the new shop. But
super duper depressed. I haven't actually got to take on a trail ride either.
Yeah, it was a good trail riding buggy, but
well, it's fun for the 10 minutes I rode.
The kicker with the Outlander for me was the constant shifting from high gear to low gear to high gear to low gear, because that you just can't putt around in low gear. And as much technical deep woods riding as I do and we do, that seems like that was all I ever did was shift from high to low to high to low to high to low, and it got really annoying very quick.
Or you're just me and it's throttled down the whole time. So
yeah, but I mean, I was spoiled by Yamaha. I would like to pick up another more modern 4-wheeler than the old Big Bear. The old Big Bear's fun. I enjoyed running that little thing, but
we should build that. Long suspension. That's a solid rear axle, isn't it?
It is, and I've actually thought that'd be a great mutter.
Trailing arm suspension in the back of that bad boy.
With some big old tires and snorkeled and for some mud.
Shocks.
Low gear is really low on that. If we didn't go too huge a tire, we probably wouldn't even have to do any gear reduction or anything. But I've thought about that.
You might even be able to use the old control arm or A-arms off the front of Mighty Mouse.
Yeah,
maybe. Make it a little bit wider.
Yeah.
And then you might be able to just cut some tube and make the drive shaft longer for the back.
Hey, now that I'm a welder and I've gotten better at welding, I mean, the sky's the limit. I'm not afraid to fab anything at this point. So we'll just have to wait and see.
Troy, I'm gonna have to answer and say probably not. The issue I think we were having, or he was mostly having with this turbo, is what he said. It was getting too hot. I think it was just burning the bearings up.
Yeah,
because it started getting a lot of shaft play after. Well, the first ones,
them cheap turbos
didn't last the
more than 100 or so miles.
You had at least 5 rides on before it started going.
Oh, I put several hundred miles on it.
Yeah, and I mean, there's no oil cooler, and it was pumping a probably consistent 5 psi of oil pressure through it, which may have been a little much. We don't know.
But I didn't have a whole lot of oil volume either, so that oil was just continually circulating and not getting a real good chance to cool down. So,
yeah.
I think as far as tuning wise, I had that dialed in pretty good because it was responsive. And
if we could have rationed it up a little bit, you may have been able to run a cooler turbo because it wouldn't have been as lean, but then you're wasting fuel, and then it wouldn't run as good down low. So
the thing with the Pioneer 500 is there's not really a whole lot you can do with the tuning. I mean, it doesn't have all the adjustability like a big race car or something would have.
No, there's so much more you can do on the race cars. Those things are limited. I mean, you can't necessarily do your ignition timing, all that other crap.
I can adjust my fueling for different RPMs, and that's pretty much the extent that I can do.
Right.
But we'll see. which again, maybe a supercharger would be a better way to go.
Could be more conservative.
Yeah, be more consistent power to. I don't know. We'll see. That's something to think on.
Hey.
777 Catman. I love my Wildcat Trail too, and I hated to get rid of it, but I had 3 side by sides and had just to hinker in to get back into riding an ATV. So that's pretty much why I got rid of it. But Dan, you have no complaints over the little Wildcat Trail either, do you?
It went anywhere and everywhere. I saw the R-Max get stuck in snow, and that thing went right through it.
Yeah.
I saw the R-Max get stuck in mud and two-wheel drive, and that thing went right through it in two-wheel drive.
Yeah.
It was great. We had the carnivores on it, took those off, put the other ones back on it, which didn't have much tread at all on those, and it's
went.
a tank. I mean,
it's lightweight. Those are just under 1,000 pounds.
And they're what, like 50 horsepower?
65.
65
64,
horsepower?
63 to
I'm not gonna lie,
65-ish.
they get up and move. We could have built that into a nice, fun machine.
It was impressive.
That would have been
It was impressive. The downside is there's not a whole lot of aftermarket support for those.
They really fell off the face of the earth.
Mm-hmm.
The ground clearance, I don't get it. It's not Articat necessarily. Polaris did the same thing. Can-Am did the same thing. Why make a trail model have absolutely no ground clearance, but every other model has all the ground clearance you could want?
Stability. It probably comes down to stability. Even look at the
Yeah.
Pioneer 500.
Right.
I mean, it's
I mean,
that close to the ground. So I'm sure they don't want to
trail model,
make it too big.
but trail model.
See,
Like,
here's the thing. At 55 inches, you can still be pretty good. And that little extra 2.5 inches on each side would
we
give you...
only ever almost rolled it one time.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
But
someone stupid was driving.
But yeah, I love that little Wildcat Trail. Still love that Wildcat Trail. Just
The only complaint that I have about that whole thing, it's not necessarily even the heat. It's the door and the leg position.
Yeah.
Because my left leg was always rubbing on the door, and it was so annoying because it was a rough door with the way it was designed. If it was a smooth inside, it may have been all right, but they left it open with the molding marks and the support bars that they, mold into the door.
It was padded. It had that little pad there, which only worked for about 5 minutes, and then it was like,
And it was gone.
But yeah, the factory doors on them are probably the worst. I thought it was very comfortable, like seating position wise.
Yeah, everything else about it was great. I kind of like the heat that it puts out because it was a good wintertime bug.
Yeah.
But
So I don't know. But I don't know. Winter's coming up. I'm thinking about which direction to take this channel next year. I'm hoping now that I have the Power Sports shop, it's going to open up a lot more opportunities as far as what I can film for Appalachian mountain riders.
I'm sure you met a lot of people that do a lot of riding working on their stuff, and it might open up some doors for other things.
Yeah, get to some different riding places you guys haven't seen. I know I put out a lot of content around the house here, riding, rock run, but that's just where I frequent a lot.
I'd like to go to Kentucky. Have you ever been to Kentucky?
I haven't been to Kentucky. Been
I
to
would like-
Tennessee.
It'd be about the same, but I want to go down. We need to make a plan to go down for like that rock bouncer competitions, like when they do one of those, and go for a weekend riding, doing all that. Because I would love to watch you guys. Watch everyone else beat the snot out of their stuff, so I don't have to convince some friends to do it.
We can just go down and film some of it.
Yeah.
We can save our machines, but yeah, I don't know. I would definitely like to get into doing more machine reviews. Now that I have my own shop, I'm hoping that can work. I mean, the big main factor for that, besides getting the machines, is just time to do it. Working a full-time job. YouTube has just kind of been a hobby, but now that I'm full-time in my own repair shop, working on ATVs and side-by-sides and stuff, they're kind of mingling in a little more. So I'm hoping that opens up more opportunity to do that kind of stuff, more reviews.
It would very well be nice.
Because those are still my best performing videos. It's just a matter of getting machines.
Yeah, we got the nice courses, like, the different suspension test, hill test, everything else about it.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Mm-hmm. And I might be able to, like, especially in today's economy with how scarce machines are, I can't expect OEMs to send me demo machines to review. Especially, I'm approaching 15,000 subscribers, which isn't bad, but I mean, it's not any huge number. But I'm hoping that maybe I can get together with you guys that have machines I don't have. We can spend a day riding. I get your machine. You guys can take the R Max or Mighty Mouse and maybe get to do some more reviews of different machines that way. I'd love to get behind the wheel of a KRX 1000. I'd like to get behind the wheel of a new Terex S. I saw you have a bunch of those sitting down there at Carnes now. 4 or 5 of them?
Yeah, I don't know.
There's quite a few
couple
down there.
non-S's and there's a couple S's.
Mm-hmm.
They are nice. I mean, you sit up nice in them. The clutch engagement's nice just for moving them in and out of the garage when I need to get in upstairs and stuff. And they seem nice.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't drove one on a trail. I drove it for the parade. I did drive one in the parade.
Uh-huh.
It was nice. It did get hot. I didn't like that.
I've driven the regular Terex, so I'd like to get behind the S to see how much of an improvement it is in ride, because it's supposed to be pretty decent, I guess, now. But
from what I hear, it is.
Yeah.
Where is Kanawha? Right? Is that right? Kanawha?
Oh, yeah, Kanawha County.
Kanawha County. I tried to look it up.
Is that in Pennsylvania or?
I don't know.
It sounds like it's in Canada.
when I Googled it, it come up Virginia. So.
Oh, maybe it's in Virginia. That's not too far away. I'm in central Pennsylvania, so that's not too far away. What Troy say here? I missed your comment, Troy. So I'm looking to replace the rims and tires on my P500. Any recommendations on spacers and size of tire? West Virginia, so not too far away. He's probably down around Hatfield McCoy trails and all the outlaw trails down there. I definitely upgrade to a 14-inch tire, Troy. There's so many more tire options when you go to a 14-inch.
Hey, I might know a guy has some tires and wheels laying around. He might sell.
Who's that?
I'm
keeping on mine. I got plans for all them sitting down. I still have the Wildcat Trail tires yet. I probably ain't going to put them on the Big Bear. But
we need another unit here.
And Troy, you all stock suspension and everything. I'm taking it. If you're still like stock on that, I'd go with at least 1.5 spacers.
What do you have in yours? Inch? Or didn't you have full spacer adapters at one time?
Yeah, before I put the long travel on the P5, I had 1.5 with 27-inch tires, and that was a great combination. So I'd say go with a 27-inch tire on some 14-inch rims of your choosing. There's so many different places out there to buy rims, and go with at least a 27-inch tire.
You can come down and see me. I'll sell you some rims.
Dan sell you some rims. 4 and 110 bolt pattern. You carry that in your Polaris dealer.
Well,
but you can get them.
I think I have one set of 4x110s because isn't the new Canium something rather 4x110s? Then, what was it? Anywho, I can order them. I might not have them, but I can order them for you.
Of course, I'm still partial. I think the Blackwater Evolution is still probably my favorite tire. Great all-around tire. That's what I've been running on Mighty Mouse.
814 suspension. Man, that guy just lives right down the road from us.
I've talked to him.
I don't know where you're from, Troy, but that guy is 25 minutes away from
25 minutes
here.
away. Craig Fulmer, yeah. I actually met with him a while back about developing some 814 shocks for the R-Max. But simply put, he can't get shocks long enough to build for the R-Max, so that kind of put a halt to that. But
I wonder if he could now with the things being able to come a little bit more available.
I don't know.
Should probably try that.
But I mean, he said we could do it with the shorter ones, but then you'd have to add a big old spacer at the top or the bottom. And
how reliable is that?
Yeah, but I don't know. 814s, though, they have a good reputation for.
And they really don't have a lot to offer for a lot of units. Terexes, I think some Generals, he had some stuff. Mm-hmm. Or maybe it wasn't Generals. Like maybe it was the non-XP model Generals or something. He had a couple things in there. But
Catman 28s are perfect. I had the 28 Carnivores on my Wildcat. I did run. What spacers did I run?
The adapter spacers.
I had the adapter spacers were an inch, and I ended up having to put 2-inch spacers on the back on top of the adapters because that evened it out. Now he got whole new rims, which I'm taking it will be the 4 and 115 for his Wildcat.
More than likely. What was the offset on yours? Were they a
5+2? So that made it 2+5. However, 5+2.
That's already about an inch wider each side.
Yeah.
So that's about 2 to 3 inches wider total, and then you 2-inch spacers. Yeah, I mean it was nice. It rode nice.
It rode nice, and it handled the bigger tire as well. So I'd say as far as 28-inch tires, they're not too big. That's a good size for the Wildcat Trail. It's got plenty of power to haul in those. I didn't even really notice that big of a difference in power.
If you watch most of the videos where I drive Wildcat, it was never low range. I've only ever used high range in that most of the time. And when we did the snow romp that year, it was all high range too. I never run any low range in that.
It still outran the Hour Max.
Yeah.
On the 28s.
Yeah.
Pretty easily, actually.
It had so much power to run them. It had no lack of power for it. I think you had the 28s on it whenever I almost rolled it up at the short course.
Maybe. Did I have the sway bars disconnected though?
You did. Because as soon as it started going, it started going. But
now, as far as spacers, you might not need them on the front because, like Dan said, depending what the offset of the rims you got are, it's probably going to make you a little wider to begin with. They're 4+3. So that's probably pretty close to what the factory is then.
Where are you seeing this 4+3? Oh, there it is.
I'm a little faster than you.
Yeah, okay. So give me the old slow stuff.
So you may, I mean, it wouldn't hurt to do an inch on the front, and then you may need to do 2 inches on the back to even up so you're even. And there's nothing wrong with having the front wider than the back. That drives me crazy. It drives a lot of people crazy.
I hate having the rear skinnier than the front.
Yeah.
It's so stupid.
So
it's a stability thing, but it's...
So to even them up, you're probably going to need bigger spacers on the rear than the front because the offset's different on the stock rims front and rear. I think on the Wildcats, I'm pretty sure.
Stock, yeah, but if you buy aftermarket, like a 10-inch wide rim all the way around, they should be the same. So that technically would make it wider in the front, so you would have to put a spacer in the rear. Because more than likely, the A-arms are wider in the front than what the rear are.
Yeah, that's usually why. So, I mean, the thing to do would be to put them on without spacers, measure the difference there, take it for a drive and see how you like it. But I'm pretty sure you're going to need spacers, at least on the rear, to even that out.
I mean, spacers are still just going to make it ride nice.
Yeah, it will make it. That's going to give you that little extra leverage. Just play with your suspension better.
Well, wait a minute. You had Fox shocks in yours, didn't you?
Yeah, they were the Fox, but his
is
was 14. Did those come with the Fox?
I don't know.
I don't know
yours
either.
Was the XT?
Yes.
Trail XT.
Yes.
If yours is the base model trail, it might have stock shocks, and I think it's probably going to ride rough.
I was thinking all the Wildcat trails came with the Fox. They were just the monotube. They weren't remote reservoir or anything or adjustable.
Any of the older ones.
But I was thinking they all came with Fox.
His? Oh, his was
Fox.
the Sport.
Yeah, his was a Sport.
So it had the Fox because it's wider too.
But on another side note there, Catman, a great improvement to do, and I think mine, they are the Fox. Bandit tender springs. Well, not tender springs, but because those don't have the tenders, but Bandit springs will make a big difference on how smooth that is too, which mine had the Bandits, I believe. They weren't the stock because the stock.
Somebody changed them.
Yeah.
And I ain't gonna say it rode the best. Like I'm not saying it was the best running machine out there. Like it was still rough.
It was still rough,
but it was rough mostly because it bottomed out everywhere it went.
And I had the preload crank down pretty good too, just for a little extra ground clearance.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it. It just after a couple hours of rock run riding and bottoming out on everything, it was a little rough.
The time you took it to rock run, I put the small tires back on it.
He took my tires away from me. I had no tire whatsoever.
See, I rode it several times with the 28s at Rock Run. I was like, wow, this is a great machine. But then I think after that, I did ride it at Rock Run with
the 28.
With the smaller tires. And I had the R-Max there and I rode for like an hour. I was like, okay, I'm going to the R-Max because this is beating you to death. But
so, I mean, hey.
Yeah, I would say as far as spacers, you probably won't need them on the front. It wouldn't hurt to have them. You definitely probably need some on the rear to even it up, though. So that's all I got to say about that, I guess. And Bandit tender springs for your Fox shocks will make a pretty good improvement in ride, and they're not that awful expensive either. A couple $100. At least they used to be.
Yes, probably. I don't know if Shock Therapy offers anything for those or not.
I don't know.
They're mostly sport side by sides. But
what was we talking about before we got into the Wildcat? Bringing back good memories of the old Wildcat Trail. Not even that old memories, I guess.
West Virginia trails?
I mean, I was starting to talk about plans for my channel next year. Once
the
winter's coming, I got lots of time to plan.
Is new to me. I haven't heard any of these yet either.
I don't actually have a whole lot of crazy plans. So again, I'd like to get into doing more reviews, even if it takes me getting together with you fellow viewers and swapping machines for a day, so I get to ride some different stuff and film some different stuff. Which I think that'd be fun just to get together with
Oh
you
yeah,
guys anyway and do
Yeah.
some extra riding.
I think we should do like an event, like a yearly event,
Well-
where we can get everyone that watches your channel together to do a ride. I mean, we got the field up top. We can do. You got your drag racing field. You got your short course. So we can do time trials. We not necessarily drag racing. It's kind of rough there, but I think like a
We
nice
could do-
long trail
yeah.
ride. You have the whole field up top. I mean, you can do like anything really.
Well, I
I mean,
actually thought about setting like an uphill drag course. I think I talked to you about that.
it would be good on the backside.
Well, that's what I was
coming
thinking
up
about doing it.
past the. Well, that one has whoops in it. I don't know if you'd want to. Those are nice to leave in there.
I would like to do another P5 Jive, my Pioneer 500 get together, because I haven't done one since COVID.
We should probably do it up here.
But I need to do
think we could do it
better
here.
planning, because in the past those have been one of those things like, oh hey, I'm going here in 3 weeks. I'm going to have this, and then no one can come. I think need to plan and post for this like a year ahead, so people have time to plan for it and come to it. But
I think we should do something up here.
just do a yeah. But do I really want all these people to know where I live?
That's why you have them come into back gate.
Oh, okay. Have them come in the back gate.
I don't know where the back gate's at myself because I don't have to use that gate. But
yeah, what do you guys think? Let me know if you're here live or even if you're watching this on a replay. I think hosting an event here would be pretty fun just for all my fellow subscribers. And
yeah,
it ain't gonna be nothing as probably as big as what the blog boys do. But most of
it
my
doesn't have to be.
it doesn't have to be. I think the majority of my viewers are more conservative riders anyway. They have Pioneers, they have Wolverines.
Yeah.
We have the machines that don't break down. They don't go nearly as fast, but they don't break down either. So
Yeah. And I mean, if you don't have a boatload of people show up, maybe 30, 40 people, if
that'd
that.
be more than I'd be ready to.
Yeah.
host.
Anywho, 20-something people, at least you get to interact with them and get to know your subscribers and your people. And like with events like what they throw, they don't know half the people. They only know, oh, that guy, he's got a 400 horsepower machine that can smoke everybody. I know him. I'm gonna know him. No, I don't. I wouldn't want to be that guy. I would want to be the guy that knows everybody and gets to know everybody, not just the guy that has the most expensive machine on the lot. But
Troy, all I can say about gas prices is hopefully next election things will go back to how they were before this current administration. But anyway,
and that's all up to you, folks.
Anyway, we won't get too far into that. But yeah, we'll see. I was thinking of even having something like a get together at Rock Run too.
I've
a lot
only
more
been
trails
there one time. Wait,
which is crazy because
it's my backyard.
In my mind, you've been there a lot with us, but you haven't. You've just been there because you're usually working or doing something.
You look at the hill and be like, if Dan was here, he'd annihilate that thing on something or annihilate the machine on that hill.
Yep. So, anyway, I do plan on doing a lot more of these live hangouts too, where if Dan or Seth or Greg can't join me, I'll just do it by myself. But
yeah, he's a loner like that.
Yeah,
that's all right.
That's all right. I guess the trick will be just talking.
Trying to get them to talk.
Yeah,
you guys are a lively bunch. We appreciate it.
I don't have a whole lot. Again, my subscriber base isn't huge, and so I don't get near the numbers on these live hangouts as a lot of other people do. That doesn't mean I still shouldn't do them because I enjoy them. I'll do it for all you guys that support me, regardless of how many numbers. So
we're here for you.
Troy, if you fly out, definitely have a machine you can borrow and ride while you're here. So
we might have a tent we can pitch out back too.
Yeah, I got a camper. I can set it up.
Oh, I forget about the camper all the time. Kurt Eaton.
Yeah, see, I know I have a lot of viewers in Canada too, which would sort of hurt on a big gathering. But hey, people that can make it can make
International borders. Who needs borders? Just jump right over them. Don't stop. Don't look behind you. Just keep running forward. Just don't expect to go back, though.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So, I don't know. We'll see. I do have some fun videos planned. I was hoping to get filmed this year and I didn't get to with opening the new shop. They're up there on the whiteboard, which you guys can't see, so no spoiler alerts for you guys or no spoilers for you guys. But
oh, that takes me back to the paintball thing. When we did the 500 subscriber or whatever it was, we pelted you with paintballs riding around the little short course, the like original short course jump video thing.
I don't know if some of you guys are newer viewers. Way back when I first started my channel, which has been what, 5 years ago now. I've been doing this for 5 years, Dan. Can you believe that? And I'm only at 15,000 subscribers. Why aren't you guys sharing my channel?
And I still don't have my own machine. And 5 years ago, I was like, I'm getting one.
But when I hit my first milestone of 50 subscribers, which I thought I was king of the hill.
Was it 50?
It was 50. It was 50 subscribers. I thought I was big stuff. I hit 50 subscribers. That was within a few months of me actually started my channel, wasn't it? I think.
Yeah. It wasn't very long. You had
was the water balloons 50?
I think the 50 was the water balloons. I'm pretty sure it was 500 for the paintball gun or something.
Was it 100? I don't know. Anyway, the video is clear back. Way back. It's still on the channel if you guys want to watch that. But I was celebrating a subscriber milestone by driving around on Zippy and letting these guys shoot me with paintballs. I had targets on my chest and my back and was shot at while riding around.
Yeah, I got them good. Probably a little.
And the thing was, is we had as many paintballs as I had subscribers, I think, is.
Yeah, we each got so many.
Yeah.
Because you took a lap round and one of us got to shoot another lap, I think. Or no, we were set up around the course. We all had our own gun.
Yeah, like 3.
That's what it was.
I drove around, everyone was out, and then 3 others, and I drove around, everyone was out. It was.
I think we each got like 10 or 15 paintballs, if I remember correctly.
All I remember, Dan, I think you were the culprit, is when I was going to hit the I Believe I Can Fly jump. Just like 10 shots
I remember
right in my lower back, right above my butt.
Yesterday.
I had the hugest bruise because you were like dead aim there for like 5 or 6 shots.
I won 100%
it hurt
kill
so
mode.
bad.
I was like, I'm going to get him good.
So bad.
I'm going to get him good. This is a stupid idea, and I'm going to prove it to him.
Yeah.
We'll have to get that video back out and reshare it.
Well, I think after that I wised up and I did no more big subscriber milestone videos.
We haven't done any.
So, which is okay. I've still actually, since I opened the shop and started doing the videos on the shop, my subscriber count's been going up pretty good.
Well, you're getting that shop content people and you still have the riding content people. So you get like a 50-50 base.
One way I know my channel would improve greatly is if I had a designated camera person there to interact with. It'd make the content more lively, more entertaining. Because when it's just me set up with the camera, I tend to go into work mode where I just work and then forget I even am filming. And that makes it hard to edit and be entertaining. But
I'm a good camera person, but boy, do I distract people when I'm doing it.
But see, that's what makes the good entertaining content.
It is, until we forget what we're filming and we're like, what were we doing
again? So, yeah. Guys, I'm always open for suggestions as well on how to improve the content in my channel. So feel free on any videos to comment any suggestions you have, criticism, whether it be constructive or deconstructive. I don't care. It all will help improve the channel. So, but yeah, I think if I could have someone there filming stuff more often for me.
You have to get one of them 360 GoPros.
Yeah.
Just wear it on your head.
But still, I go into the same, like this, when it's just me in the shop, I go in, like I said, work mode, where I just work and get the job done. I'm like, oh, hey, I'm filming. I should be talking about this or doing something. But
I'll have to sneak into the garage, set up a secret camera, watch you work on stuff. So when you don't think anyone's working, we get all the fun content of you singing to yourself. We can use that too.
I do that quite often.
Yeah. You should do that. You should put a camera up and use it. Then you'll be like, oh, wait, there's a camera. Don't do it.
Well,
Then you forget, and then you can embarrass yourself.
A lot of times I try to just have the camera going steady, and then if something silly happens, then I got it. Plus, time lapses are great for covering a lot of work quickly, but I tend to find them boring, so I try to limit myself on time lapse videos.
I cannot stand watching time-lapse videos because it's like I start into it like, okay, this is going to be a cool video. And I start watching something and this is a very boring video. And then it's like 5 minutes later, switch to a different video. So yeah, I get that. It's
Yeah.
nice to keep it entertaining.
So, we'll see. See if I can persuade Dan to come film for me more often without paying him.
I've used enough of your.
Would you quit that, Dan? Come on. It's,
Sorry, I woke up early.
uh,
Whole 7 o'clock.
but
Anyhow,
yeah.
yeah, I could probably do that.
Are we getting to a lull, Dan? We're almost to an hour. We'll hang
I
out
don't
here
know,
for
no
an
one's
hour,
talking.
and then we'll probably call
No
her
one's
quits. We got
talking.
another 5 minutes. Yeah, they just.
Watch, they're gonna all like start asking questions at the last 5 minutes.
That's all right. We'll answer them. That's quite all right. Hey, this is not the first live we've done. First live hangout. Usually we're in podcast mode where we have specific topics we're talking about. But I do want to do more of these. I'd like to do 1 or 2 of these a month in lieu of our podcast. I'd like to have at least someone like Dan here with me doing it. But if not, I'll just do it on my own. I always have Lisa, my wife, join in too.
So in the
The
year,
kids, I had the
in-
kids on here. They'd probably be going crazy. And
in the year that we've been doing podcasts, it's been a year, right? Maybe over a year, because they're not necessarily when they're supposed to.
We do good.
but
We'll get like several months where we're snap, 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 and then something will happen, and we'll go several months without.
we try to do it mostly in
Doing
wintertime because that's when things slow down.
Yeah,
But
it is when things slow down.
moral of the story is, I don't think your wife's been on it yet.
She's been in there talking a little
but,
bit.
I mean, physically on it. Sit down, talk, conversate. Yeah, most people just don't know if she is in the background.
Mm-hmm.
She's not here today, though. Sorry.
No, she got back in. She's getting kids all ready for bed. And also, guys, what is a good time to actually do these live hangouts? I'm on the East Coast here, and so that's why I've been doing 8:30. So that way, people that's farther west, it might be earlier for them. But I don't know what time do you guys like these live broadcasts? So we played around with the podcasts in the past at different times from 7 to 8 to 9. So I don't know.
It's unfortunate because usually you either get the group from the one side or you get the group from the other side.
Yeah, it's hard to find that medium ground where you can get both groups together.
You are just gonna have to suck it up and stay up later. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah. So MPit 729 said need a couple group rides next year. I agree. I definitely want to do a couple group rides next year. So
not to interrupt, but I see your background picture. What kind of bike is that?
Oh boy,
Dan sees a bike.
Dan sees a bike.
It's a nice bike, but it looks like a naked bike. I mean, I'm a fan of naked bikes.
So I don't think there's any other big news updates or anything for me.
I think we should do a group ride up at is it Majestic?
Oh yeah,
with the
we
track
haven't been
and
back
stuff
there.
That is a beautiful track.
Z650.
Z650. See, you should have got the 9.
Oh, now
The
he's going to tell
Z900.
you why you brought the wrong bike or bought the wrong bike. Tech tip, answer viewer questions. Like a live hangout specifically for a tech tip for answering technical questions.
I mean, that's kind of what this is, but
Kind of, but I didn't advertise it as that. I just advertised
no.
it as a live hangout to come talk about whatever.
I
so.
mean, we'll answer to the best of our knowledge any question you ask us.
Again,
And it mostly is going to be him because I don't know much.
I don't know all the technical mumbo jumbo because I'm self-taught. I'm a self-taught mechanic. Doesn't mean I don't know how to do stuff. I just might not know all the technical terms of stuff. Since I've opened my own repair shop, though, I've already learned a lot, which is great. But I've just always been really good at taking stuff apart, putting it back together, finding what's wrong with stuff.
I can take stuff apart, but then when
putting
you
it
guys put it back
together.
together 5 months later, it's like, how did this go?
Did you see there? He said he'd hurt himself on a 900.
I do.
Kind of like me with the Outlander.
I got an FZ09, and I'll tell you what, it is wicked fast. If you're ever around Pennsylvania area where we're from, like Clearfield, you can ride it. I'll let you ride it.
Mm-hmm. So.
Oh, he is from around here.
Yeah.
Who is it?
I'm going by this handle. I have no idea. He'd have to say what his name is, whether he's wanting to do that or not.
What's your name? What's your name? Z650. Tell us. Anyway.
Yeah, I just definitely want to do a couple more group rides at Rock Run and actually advertise it ahead of time far enough people can actually plan to come. That's been my biggest downfall in planning a event or group ride is I don't give enough time.
It's probably the guy at the Pro XP.
Oh, it might be.
Because that was Rock. No, was that Rock?
Yeah, that was Rock Run.
Yeah, the time I didn't get to be there and there was a Pro XP there, I was so upset. It's like every time you get all the good units that show up to go for your rides, I'm never there.
Oh no, that's Mark on the Renegade.
Oh,
I guess he was the only one that I rode with in August. We're getting our rides mixed up there because when
I'm never there.
When I had the Pro XP, that was earlier in the year and it was dark and good. So now, Mark, I know your handle. I know that's you. But yeah, he rode with that was a big ride I had up there with the Outlander, and he was on the 850, which I gotta say we did drag race Dan. I don't know if I didn't film anything for that day. It was just a nice enjoyable ride. Yeah, he smoked me on his Renegade.
I'm gonna rewind this conversation back to the fact that you have a Renegade 850 and you're afraid of a Z900. The 850, come on! And things like, oh shoot, the 1000 was 90. Well, what did I tell you? 91 horsepower, 92 horsepower, and the 850 was right around 85 horsepower.
Mm-hmm.
That's as much. That's more than your Z650. Get a Z900. All right, not for the picking moment there. I'm sorry, had to let it out.
Yeah, see, he's raced his Renegade too. He's raced a couple of times.
See, I almost bought a 1000. And what made me really mad was the fact that they bought that 850 back from the guy because he was too afraid of it, and then they sold it for $12,000, and it had 20 miles on it.
Renegade.
Yes, the one that I told you because I wanted the 1000.
Yeah.
And they sold it. I was like, "What about the 850?" Oh, we sold that a month ago, and then they bought it back down at Carnes Equipment instead of Mountain Extreme and sold it for $12,000.
What are those sticker new? Like 17?
The 1000 was 16. No, yeah, like 17 something. And the 850 was only like $1,000 less, if that. So, I mean,
might as well go for 1,000. So that was a fun, enjoyable ride I had with him. I spent pretty much all day on the Outlander. He was on the Renegade, tagged along, and that was fun. Now I'm missing the Outlander.
I'll tell you what, you let me do a XXC race on your Renegade.
Yeah.
I will let you ride my Z900 or my FZ09. Sounds like a pretty good trade to me. I mean,
anyway.
That way I wouldn't have to worry about breaking it because he already races it like that. So it's either built stout or he just is really conservative when he races it.
Mm-hmm. I think Mark would enjoy the trails I have up here at the house.
That four-wheeler he has would be perfect for some of the new trails we just built too.
Yeah, which I do plan on. We're going to build a lot more this year, this coming summer and stuff too.
We got so much property and so much woods to open up.
Yeah.
Well, they're pretty much already.
We need to get the hill climbs cleaned out and straightened up a little better.
See,
so we can
if I bought a four-wheeler like I intended to, and me and Seth was up here, we could have made so many trails by now.
I tell you what, Dan. On my plans for this winter is to get that Warrior running better. You can buy that off of me.
It's slow though.
But it's not bad for what it is.
But after riding all these fast utility sport quads, it's like, do I really want to go back to a sport quad, or do I just want to stick with the utility sport quad? It's a hard choice.
It is.
Especially after beating the crap out of yourself on a sport quad for how many years, and then you ride something like the Outlander 1000 that's so comfortable.
Oh, it is.
So
the ride
nice,
is nice,
and it's faster.
Yeah, see, I've always been the utility guy, and so like even what I have got to ride that Warrior, I was like, yeah, I'd rather have a 4-wheel drive utility machine. But that's just me. So anyway, Dan, we're over an hour here. Should we start wrapping up this?
Yeah, we're down to 6 views.
Yeah. Which, guys, I appreciate you coming and hanging out live with me just for something to do and just to talk with nothing in particular to say except what we said, right?
I'm still stuck on the fact that he has a Renegade 850.
I know.
I wasn't there for that
You wasn't
ride.
there for it. Well, I'll tell you what, Dan. We will plan for a ride that you can go to. How's that? And we'll make sure that it's a day that he's able to come with his Renegade so you can at least look at it and drool.
That sounds fair.
I'm not
But
gonna.
you know,
I'm not gonna.
I'll ride it before the end of the day.
I don't know. That's up to him. I'm gonna have nothing in this. That's just gonna be up to him. So, but anyway, you guys think about this stuff. Like, what time is best for
He's
everyone?
in retirement.
Yeah, is best for these live hangouts and video suggestions. Just suggestions to improve my content overall. And hopefully my subscriber count will continue to go up. Almost at 15,000.
Yeah, I mean, you're
And-
at 14.8 thousand.
Yeah.
It'd be great if we can hit 15
I
by the end
know
of.
if I
next
was
month.
to buy a Polaris or Can-Am, I could probably double that in a month or more. I just don't know if I want to take that route. So, I mean, I had a Can-Am and I didn't keep it long enough to actually do anything with it.
That's an understandable cause, though, because you're great or doing a greater benefit for yourself and your YouTube. So the fact that you had to sacrifice maybe one unit, almost two,
Almost
mistakenly.
two. But Money Mouse is here. I think
But I mean,
the content I'm able to pump out of my new shop now, it's just making up for it. I still need to.
if it gets big enough, you might have to start a second channel just for the shop content.
Well, we'll see. We'll see.
Be that guy, you know.
Be that guy.
Has 1, 2, 3, 4 YouTube channels.
Well, I already have 2 YouTube channels
Yeah.
because the
Well,
podcast
didn't you
videos.
have another one that was, or was this one of them your personal one before you started?
It was my personal one. I did my quick little martial artist revival, and then got like 3 videos, and then
You
opened
quit?
up my new shop, and I haven't had time to work out or do anything.
Yeah, so you had
again.
that. You had the podcast channel,
and this one.
and so that's 3.
That's 3.
Or was the other one on the podcast channel?
Mm-mm.
So it's 3 separate channels.
Mm-hmm. But the other one, I'm not monetized or either one of those. I only have the podcast channel only has about 60 subscribers, which if you're one of the 60, I appreciate it. I still haven't got episode 10's.
Are you still
Video
uploading them on
uploaded.
that platform, or are
Yeah.
you doing it on this account?
No, it goes on the podcast channel.
Oh,
So Power Sports Enthusiast podcast.
I don't know
Yeah.
what's been up with YouTube lately, but when I get on it, like none of the people that I've been subscribed to have come up anymore. It's like showing me all these random videos with all these random people I have no clue
I don't know.
who they are.
YouTube is revamping stuff. They're supposed to unroll a bunch of new stuff here for 2023.
Yeah, I got the
They're
email.
starting to push shorts more, so I'll probably be doing more shorts videos, or at least taking old videos.
They're trying
and
to
turning
become the
into
new
shorts.
TikTok.
They're trying to, which is understandable. TikTok's a pretty popular platform. But
Well,
anyway,
people are
guys,
making more money.
I see you're all cutting out. Thanks for joining for the live hangout. We'll see you on the next one. I'll maybe plan a little more in advance to get word out on when I'm going to do it than when I did this one. Instead of just a couple of days, give you at least a good solid week or 2. But anyway, guys, thanks for joining us. We'll see you on the next live stream. And if I don't see you then, I will see you before then on a video. So thanks for joining in. And we will end.
Waiting for the